Hi learners, welcome to Learner's Corner. My name is Blessing Ashi. Today I'll be taking you on a very interesting journey. As a young person, I know you've been wondering, what is going on with everyone in my house? My sister is suddenly growing so big, and my brother, I can't even talk about him getting so tall. His chest has even enlarged. And I think I'm noticing something like that in my body. What's going on with me? Relax. That's why we are here for you. We'll be talking about puberty. Puberty. What is this puberty? Puberty is the transition from childhood to adulthood. And it's at this stage that a young person begins to develop secondary characters. I will walk you through these secondary characters and also the changes that a young person faces during this puberty. Now, these puberty changes are divided into several subgroups, but let me talk about the physical subgroup and also the emotional subgroup. Now, the physical changes that you experience during puberty includes, for male, you notice that as a male, your chest becomes larger. You notice your voice becomes deeper. You begin to speak like, oh, and then you notice that you begin to, it's both for male and female, you begin to get taller. There's a difference in height, and then beards, you want to have that personal beard for yourself, and then you're touching your chin and you're wondering, oh, when will this come to me? This would happen during this puberty. And then you also notice that for you as a guy, your femur, your shoulder region is femur, brother, and then you also begin to show this form of, I want to be alone. There's this want for, I want to be alone. I can no longer beat my parents, or I can no longer be with my younger siblings again. I want to roll with the boys. I want to do boy stuff like watch football. Of course, there's other females who also watch football. And then for the female, you notice that your voice becomes thinner. And then your breast begins to start budding, and before you know it becomes big, and then your hips also becomes broader, and you're very sensitive at this point in time about your environment and also about your body. Your sense of belonging, is heightened. You're more conscious about the kind of clothes you wear this time around because you feel everybody's looking at you, when sometimes everybody might not be looking at you. And then you also, when it comes to your friends, your choice of friends, you want to look out for the kind of people you want to work with. Either you want to belong or you don't want to belong. All of these things are also normal. That's why it's puberty. And then also menstruation occurs, or menstruation begins. And the first menstruation a young girl has is called menarche. And this menstruation is what informs you that, you have now left the childhood and you have now become an adult, because you can get pregnant if fertilization occurs. Okay, so that the guys would not say I've left them out of this conversation, you also experience wet dreams. It's normal to have wet dreams as a guy. What is wet dream? Wet dream is the point where you sleep and then you wake up and it seems like you ejaculated. It's completely normal. All of these things are as a result of hormones that you have started experiencing, that have started going through your body. All of this, like I said, they're great and they're fantastic. They're fantastic. However, for you to go through puberty at ease and for you to go through this transition, smoothly, it's important that the choice of people around you is great. The people who you associate with is very, very important. Who you speak to, actually during menstruation for females, because there are lots of myths. Some people will say, when you're menstruating and when you don't have sex and you're menstruating, you have serious pain. But the moment you have sex, you won't have pain. It's a lie. Some people will say, if you want to have a stressless menstruation, go and sleep with like 3 boys. That's not true. You know why? Because you are at risk of contracting sexually transmitted infections. And aside from that, you're also at risk of becoming pregnant. And I'm not sure as a young person, you really want to become a mother right now, because there are financial commitments, there are emotional commitments, there are physical commitments. And I mean, think about your younger sibling. The last time your mother went to the market and left your sibling with you for 4 hours, you nearly died. How much more having a child with you for the rest of your life? Okay, so I believe that you are following me in this class, and I know that you have several questions. And one of the things I want to do right now is to debunk all of the myths you've gathered over time. For a guy, they've told you that one of the signs of maturity, that you have arrived puberty, is by consuming drugs. That's not true. I mean, you can be a teenager transitioning into an adult, and not use drugs. All of these are what peer pressure leads, negative peer pressure. This is what it is all about, you know. So you don't have to consume drugs because you want to transition. And then I know that for some other people, say you were 13 and you have friends who have already started seeing their period, and you are worried that what's going on with my body? Why am I not seeing my period? You know, like I said, when I initially started, I said these things happen at different points in time for different people, because our body responds to the hormones differently. Now, allow me to take this time to speak to the girls. To the girls, because of menstruation. Now, what happens during menstruation? Every month, an egg is released. The egg is released from the ovary, and it goes passes through the fallopian tubes. And when sex doesn't occur, when there's no sexual intercourse, this egg is then released as what you call menstruation. Now, this menstruation occurs between 3 to 7 days, depending on the girl, or depending on the girl, and depending on of course, the nature of the girl's body. Now, what you do when menstruation occurs is very, very important, as it could have adverse effect to one's health. Now, these are tips for you during menstruation. First off, you need to prepare for menstruation. And the reason why I say you have to prepare for menstruation is because you don't want to get to school one day and then you hear your classmate say, hey, you're stained. I mean, it's normal. It happens to every one of us at some point. But the reason why you are in this class is because you want to learn and know better. And that's why you have to prepare for these days. And so you want to know that, okay, for every time I'm on my period, I would always have a pad in my bag. Or whenever I think that I should be on my period, I would always carry an extra pad in my bag for people who use pads. And for people who can't afford to use a pad and you use your clean towel, you know that you should always carry an extra one around you. And then you should change at intervals. And then you already know it's important that you should not dispose your sanitary towels in the toilet. You should not flush it in the toilet. You should neatly wrap it and dispose properly. It's also important that you change at least twice every day and have a bath. And the reason why you want to have a bath is because you don't want to smell. Because during puberty, because of the hormones, you sweat a lot. And these sweat glands, you know, will make people uncomfortable if you don't take care of it. Of course, you know, you're very beautiful, you're very handsome, and you want all the good friends around you. But then body odor can chase them away. And you don't want that. Okay, so it's also important that you carry deodorant around you wherever you go. You want to spray at every point in time when you notice that you're sweaty. And you also want to change your towels, wash your hands properly. Personal hygiene is very important. Should you feel any pain during menstruation, you can take warm water, or you take painkiller based on the prescription of your healthcare provider. Please and please and please and please and please, don't do what your friend says. you should do because they feel it worked for them. It doesn't always work that way. Always seek for counsel at every point in time, should you need questions. If you're experiencing menstrual cramps at all, speak to a trusted adult. Don't listen to the advice of the friend that says sex will cure menstrual cramps. Thank you for joining today's class. I've had a great time, and I believe you did too. I'm sure you have questions. It's completely normal and fine. Send your questions to learnerscorner.org and we would answer them. That'll be all for now. Remember that puberty is normal and you have a right to grow into an adult, a great one. I love you and I hope to see you again. Bye for now.